God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth will be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof. That was Psalm 46, 1 through 3. This is another episode of Thinking Well Podcast. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Tom.
And I'm Brice.
There he is. Got him into the loop.
All right.
Third chair permanently.
Officially made it.
Brice. And we are not alone. The three of us are not alone. There is a fourth chair. We have, again, returning Andrew Coates, one of the deacons here of Lake Worth Baptist Church. How you doing, brother?
I'm well. You?
Good. How was your week?
Slow week.
Yeah.
Slow.
Is that good or bad?
Yes.
Or right where you needed it?
I would like to have been a little busier, but
Gotcha.
Is what it is.
How about your week, Tom? How was your week?
Oh, so good.
Good.
The new job is...
I was going to say, like, can we, like, announce that now as a...
Yeah.
You
They know now.
Yeah.
You started?
Yeah, started Monday.
Okay.
It was like a day and a half of training, and then like I finally got to the warehouse, and it's fantastic. It really. I mean, I'm like warehouse geeking out is what it's like for me basically. Finally got moved into my office today too. I haven't had one of like my own like 4 walls and a door and a window office since like 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
There's something about having your own office.
Yeah.
You know, not to be prideful,
No,
but
they're
it is nice having your own space. I will say that. But no, definitely, I was kind of waiting for the all clear to announce it. But
we're good.
Definitely an answer to prayer. You know, I've been praying about it. I know a lot of people here, it's been addressed in our men's prayer breakfast multiple times. So whenever you get to see something like that, you get to see God work specifically on a prayer. It's exciting. So
Prayer works.
For
How was your
sure.
week, man?
Good. Busy, but a good amount of busy. Not too much. Stuff's moving, so it's good. What you, Brice?
Same here.
Cool, man.
Busy, but the right amount of busy.
Yeah, just enough to make the week go by fast, but not too much to be overwhelmed. So
Yep.
It was good. Well, we do have Andrew on, and it's been a little while since we've done this kind of episode, but we wanted to have him on for a while to do a testimony episode. And there's never really a good way to segue into like, hey, here's Andrew, talk. Right?
The floor is yours.
Yeah, but
say words.
I think there's a great story here, and obviously it's your testimony, man. So you start where you want to, but the floor is yours, brother.
Where do I start? Testimony, salvation.
Sure.
I had early in life. I was 8 years old. I had a false profession. For whatever reason, I was like, "Yeah, I'll get saved. I'll say these words."
As many do. Yeah.
Right, as many do. Yeah. Then it was 1999, December of '99. We were all getting ready for Y2K. The world was going to end. Got your beans, get your rice, get your guns.
I was like
the computers are going to crash. Yeah. And we were having a revival service, and I don't know, scared of going to hell. So I was like, "Yeah, I'm not sure. So let's make this sure." And I know for sure for now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, Jesus is the reason.
Amen.
So,
do you think initially when you said you were 8 when you made the false?
I believe so. Yeah,
somewhere in there. Was it just like you heard a message and you heard something to the extent of like, hey, repeat this, and like there wasn't a lot of like substance to it, right?
I'm a very agreeable person, so my mom had like a track, and I know she's probably gonna kill me if she listens to this. She's like, "Here, look at this track, and let's walk through this and read it." And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, yeah." And it's like one of those like chick tracks.
Oh man.
Right, and take you back. Yeah.
Yeah. What?
And do you want to get saved? Well, yeah, I don't want to get saved. I don't want that to happen to me. So yeah, I'll say these words, and got baptized and the whole deal, and it was woohoo. We had a party and it was great, and never really just stuck. Never was like, I know for beyond a shadow of a doubt that I'm saved. So then December 1999, and then I had to wait until springtime to get baptized in a creek.
Nice,
because that was super spiritual.
Oh, where was this at? This was obviously not in Texas.
No,
right?
this was in Maryland.
Oh, so you had to wait for things to unfreeze.
Correct.
Oh, that's
It was still cold.
How old were you in 99?
I was 12.
Okay. So a 4-year difference.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Big.
I'm so old.
How old were you in 99, Tom?
In 1999, my first daughter was born, so I was 19. So
Okay.
old.
Well, we'll let our listeners do the math there.
Right.
Go ahead.
So yeah, saved in 99. Fast forward to 2005. I graduated high school. I went to Thailand on a short-term mission trip, like a intern with Tom Goday, who's going to be with the Lord now.
How long?
3 months.
Cool.
Just over the summer. Graduated on like a Sunday night, because when you're homeschooled, you can graduate whenever you want. And then like Monday morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, bye.
Nice.
Yeah. Great time.
Hang on.
Go ahead.
We skipped over the homeschool thing too fast.
Oh, sorry.
You were homeschooled?
Yes, I was homeschooled K through 12.
Okay.
Loved it.
That's
thought
awesome.
it was really good for me. I don't have like officially diagnosed ADHD or anything like that, but like, what's it where you flip your words that I can never think of off the top of my head? Dyslexia. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I have a little bit of a touch of dyslexia. Again, not officially diagnosed, but like reading is hard. Like I'll have to read, especially since I'm in the medical field, I'd have to read it, the page 3 or 4 or 5 times and be like, okay, all right, this is what it means. And actually there is an extension in Chrome. You can download a font that helps people with dyslexia. It's super cool.
That's cool that it's been somewhat of an issue for long enough that we found ways to kind of get around it.
Right.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, number 4 of 9 kids, homeschooled K through 12.
Whoa. Number 4 of 9?
9. 6 boys, 3 girls.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Were your parents missionaries? Sorry.
No, just Baptist ever since I can remember.
Okay.
That's true,
there's a
true
lot of
Baptist right there.
Right.
Yeah.
People, are
Be
you
fruitful
Catholic?
and
Are you
multiply.
Mormon? I'm like, I don't know.
Are we
We're
Mormon?
Really
Christian.
embrace that
I mean, that
verse.
fits too.
Right.
I think there's a lot of advantages to homeschooling. I was homeschooled for just a little portion of my life, and I think that's accurate saying that like the amount of attention that you get as a homeschooled kid, and actually statistically, homeschooled kids have better education than some of our public school kids. Than a lot of our public school kids.
I believe that.
Because they get that one-on-one attention, and they have more time to spend on studying the subject.
Right.
And they also don't have the distractions of all the extracurriculars that we have in our public schools today. That's not advocating necessarily one way or the other. I think both have their advantages.
Facts.
I would say there is homeschooling versus definitely today, your public schools. It was this way when I was in the public school system, but it feels like they're teaching you how to pass these standardized tests.
Oh yeah.
Versus teaching you real life application or actually teaching you subjects.
Yeah.
And again, when you have a class of 20, 30 people, you're just not you can't cater to everybody.
Well, and that's the great thing about homeschooling. You can go at the speed of the student. Like some years I was in 3rd grade reading because I was terrible at reading, but whatever subject I was in 5th grade, even though I was actually in, I was at the age of whatever.
That's awesome.
Grade.
Yeah.
So I really like it. I think it's the right thing for the right people.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
My kids do pretty well in public school. But it's not for everyone. No.
Yeah. No, I was my last year of high school, I took online school. I didn't go to public school.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really care much for prom or all the events that really seniors really care about. So I chose to actually I did the opposite. So I stressed my parents out and I didn't do like any school.
Oh no.
Until like the last couple weeks. And I kept telling them like, hey, I'll get it done. Like I'll get it done. And they were on me so hard.
I remember that.
Like
That's
yelling
awesome.
at me all the time. Like, you need to get it done. You're gonna end up not passing because you're not gonna finish it in time. And like, I'm telling you, 4 days done. The entire year of school, 4 days done, graduated. And it was great. I loved it.
Clearly it's affected your future performance in education.
Yeah, I'm dumb.
Yeah.
No, no.
Completed,
but I
an
sure know
entire
how to
year of
procrastinate.
school.
Got that
No,
down.
but in that time, I was able to work a full-time job at 17, 18, work full-time hours in the mornings, be off at night, and while my other friends were going to school for 8 hours and then going to work for 5 hours at night, right? And I had the freedom a little bit, so it was very cool, and I wish I did it for more than just my last year.
We did a video course for like in my senior or junior senior year, I was actually able to caddy like full time.
That's cool.
More or less full time, which was awesome. It's a great job. Cash pay.
Mm-hmm.
But we did like video courses for. I mean, I can speak almost conversational Spanish. I did not do well in chemistry, but I did like biology and all this bunch of stuff. It was good. Yeah.
That's cool.
So.
All right.
So okay, yeah, 2005, 2006. Well, 2000. Let me back up. 2005. So I went to Thailand, Bangkok, Thailand, about 3 months. Tom Goodday. Actually, that's where I met my wife, Sarah, who's from Texas, because she was.
Hey, man.
It's just funny how the Lord works. I was 18, not looking for a relationship. I literally just graduated high school. I had no ambitions beyond spending 3 months there and going home. That's where we officially like met, because she came over with a group from Metropolitan Baptist Church, which is where they were members of at the time. And they came for like a 10-day, 2-week trip. Where we did pass tracks out and just go all over and kind of sightsee, but also get to see people. And she stayed to work with Tom Goodday as like another intern for the summer. So we got to hang out a little bit and, again, just work, just doing. I was there for manual labor. We had like a sea container of tracks that we had to move up and down this, the shop, or what they call the cage. They call it the cage, because in Thailand, they don't really have a lot of doors. They have doors, but like the place we stayed in, you literally like a storefront where you pulled the thing down in the front and locked it.
Oh, okay.
Because it had glass doors that weren't locked.
The anti-theft cage.
Right. And we stayed on the 3rd floor. So that was fun every time you had to go up and down. Whatever. I was 18.
What was the culture like over there?
Very friendly, very welcoming. Everyone loves Americans. And I was with a buddy of mine, or buddy of mine now. I say buddy of mine. I made that friendship there.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Brian Atkinson, Larry Atkinson's son, who was the pastor of Metropolitan, he had wanted to go, and Tom Goodday had a rule that you have to have another dude, because he won't let single guys bebop around Thailand because of the trade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
makes sense. Yeah.
People who will throw themselves at you to get a U.S. passport.
Accountability.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. So yeah, that was cool. That was a good time. It was a very formative. Loved it. I'm really glad I went. Highly recommend it. Thailand or any short-term mission trip. It gives you a different perspective, especially at 18 years old, being raised in rural America. We've got everything. And then what was really, really cool during this trip was we there was some Hmong refugees from Laos who were literally crossed the border from Laos into Thailand and who were living on the side of the road. And so through non-government agencies and churches in the U.S., they had actually got funds together to provide rice for these individuals once we had actually found them, because they were literally living on the side of the road in tents. Like Doctors Without Borders was there, UNICEF was there, and, with their physical needs. But with Tom Gooday's contacts and Jeff Lang's contacts and his linguistics ability, they were actually able to plant a church in that Hmong refugee camp, which now, if I remember correctly, it is still going.
That's how that church got started?
Yeah.
Like, while you were there?
In 2005?
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard about that
That's super
church,
cool.
like
Yeah,
in Baptist circles, like even up north. Like I've heard, and Tom Gooday's a familiar name up north as well. But like I've heard about that church. That's insane.
Like we drove up into the area and then like got out and like asked at the gas station, like, where are these people?
That's
like,
cool.
they're over there that way. And we just drove on until we found them.
And like I remember hearing about these people back then as well. And like, wow,
it was super cool.
My mind is blown right now.
Close that circle for
Oh,
you.
you were there. That's crazy.
It was super cool. It was really cool to see God work. And then I got to go back in January of 2006. There was a trip, or a group going on a trip from Fargo. I can't remember the church there.
Fargo, North Dakota?
Yes, that.
Where Masters Baptist College is at?
Maybe. It was Jeff Lang sending church. I cannot. Why can I not think of the name? Well, they were sending a group, again, like a short-term mission trip, like a 2-week trip. And I was like, well, I know like my way around town. I know how to use the bus system, the metro system. Like, I'll go. Why not, you know? And I got to go back then, and it was just, it's really hot over there. But it is just January, it's a little cooler. But it was a good time. So I definitely recommend it. I know my brothers and my family has spent time in Panama. Based on, like, if you will, the pattern of going on a short-term mission trip that I went on. I don't know if all my siblings felt the same way about it that I do, but whatever. So yeah, 2000.
Fargo Baptist Church.
That's Fargo Baptist Church. Okay.
That's insane.
What circle did we just close for you?
My youngest brother and my youngest sister both went to college there.
Did they go to
at Masters
Thailand
Baptist
in 2006?
College? No, they didn't go. My youngest sister would have been in her teens in 2006, but young teens.
Oh no.
My youngest brother would have been 16 or 17 though. So they weren't there yet, but still, like, that's where they went to college. Sorry.
It's a small world, man.
I mean, I know Baptist circles are small, but like this is the first time.
Yeah, but we're going from
Texas,
Maryland to Thailand to North Dakota, Texas, like.
Right. And then like the 2 missionary kids from Germany, right? Like, okay, wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, like all these little connections are being made in my brain right now. And I'm like, what? Okay.
Super cool.
That is really cool.
So 2006, I was just working, going to college. Didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life.
Wait, hold on. So 2005, you met Sarah.
Like an acquaintance, just like.
Okay, so there's nothing really started there.
No sparks, nothing. No, I was there working. She remembers me like carrying something heavy, because I still do that. But that was like the only memory she had of me.
Gotcha. And then you went home.
And then I went home.
Okay.
Didn't even think about it.
Gotcha.
So 2006, January, went to Thailand, 2 weeks, came home, no big deal. Took a couple of college classes, kind of just floundered, didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do with my life. Took like English 101, maybe music appreciation, because you got to get that stuff out of the way. You have to have a humanities, you have to have English, you have to have whatever. And so midsummer, I started working for a catering company, which stoked my love for food service and food. And my boss was a bit of a talker. He convinced me he was going to sponsor me to the CIA, the Culinary Institute of America. Oh. And he was going to just, yeah.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I could imagine you in the actual CIA.
Right. As a 19-year-old, oh, yeah, CIA, yeah, cool, right. Yeah, food, oh, yes, love it, let's do it. So I feel like this is important proceeding up to my accident.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I worked for him a couple months. Again, 19 years old, very gullible. The guy was a talker. I had a vacation planned in September. I was going to go to the beach, and I just bought a Kawasaki 700 jet ski. Yes, as a 19-year-old, because I had adult money and I was irresponsible living at home. But I was so super stoked to go on this beach trip, and then like last minute, pulled the plug. Can't go. And I thought about quitting, and I didn't. I don't know, for whatever reason I didn't. And then my jet ski went on with the rest of my family down to the beach, and I was at home working.
So that trip got pulled because of work?
Yeah. So I was replacing someone, one of his employees that was leaving, and that employee left, and I was, working. So he had no one to fill my spot.
I see.
There's a reason. We used to run a small business. I mean, he has, I don't know, maybe 20 employees at that time, and I was running a cafeteria kitchen. It was just me in a small office building.
Gotcha.
So I did breakfast and lunch every day. I was there at 6, out by 2. It was a great job.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I had to and all the hot lunch was brought to me. All I had to do was make a couple egg sandwiches and omelets in the morning, and then prep for lunch. Huh. So it was super easy. Yeah, and so I let myself get really bitter about that trip, really angry. I was 19. I was in pretty good physical condition. I'd always dreamed of being a Navy SEAL, because what red-blooded American 19-year-old boy doesn't? And it was 2006, so we were, full steam ahead on the world war on terror.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, I'll be a Navy SEAL. I'm a bad dude. My dad had brought home, he worked construction. He had brought home his crane rope. We tied it up in a tree, 30, 40 feet. I could climb it hand over hand. We had an exposed beam in our basement. And I just go down the stairs and just do a couple sets of pull-ups. Because why not?
I don't think I've ever been in that good of shape.
Well, it leading up to the act anyway.
I gotcha.
So, it was Saturday, September 23rd, 2006. I decided to go bow hunting for deer in Maryland. It was overcast, wet, rainy. Still kind of angry about my vacation being canceled last minute. My precious jet ski. Couldn't get to ride it for the first time ever.
Did you go hunting often?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I'd hunted out. That was the second year I'd hunted out of that stand. I killed an 8-point the year before. I'd hunted a lot. I hunted it as a teenager.
So you were experienced. This wasn't like a new hunting trip or anything.
No. And so the night before, I had gotten all my stuff out. Like the stand was there I had put it up early in the season because usually August, you go kind of scout, put your stuff in. So if you disturb anything, the pattern reestablishes so you can sneak in and go hunting. So it was all set up. And I specifically remember that night searching for my safety harness, which I couldn't find. I was like, I'm 19. I've done this hundreds of times. What do we need a safety harness for?
I'm immortal.
Basically, right. So, yeah, climbed up there. It was 60s. I had my hunting camo on. Overcast, rainy. I was tired from the week, working that week, but I was going to bow hunt. And still angry, kind of trying to decide what I was going to do with my life, because still this is just a job. I've come to the conclusion that this guy was a talker. He was just using me for a warm body, which is funny, as some small business owners do. And so I decided right there, then and there in that stand, I'm like, I'm not gonna tell my family. I'm just gonna join the Navy. I'm gonna go. I've done my bit for God. I've done the mission trips. I was doing like local outreach in the parks, handing out tracts. I'll go out. I've done the Jerusalem, Samaria, and the othermost parts. I've done. I've checked. I've done. I've got you. I got you. Now you get me. So I made the decision that I was going to do that, and I never climbed out of the stand. I remember later that morning waking up on the ground. My dad went back and measured it later. I was 19. How stupid. I had climbed 28 feet up into a tree to put it's a chain-on stand, and has a platform about, 10 by 12 by 10 maybe, and then that you sit on, and then like an 18 by 24 platform that you can stand on. So it's 28 feet from the ground, 32 feet from the bank from the bank, 32 feet to the bottom of the creek. And I free fell from that tree stand down to the creek with a compound bow in my lap with a 1-inch razor sharp broadhead, because I'm here to kill deer.
Right.
Free fell 32 feet. I thank God I do not remember it. I just remember waking up.
So, like, you fell asleep?
I don't know.
Was what you think happened?
I can fall asleep anywhere. So either I fell asleep, I slipped. I don't know. I honestly...
So, 1 second, you're up in the tree.
Yeah.
What's the last thing you do remember?
The last thing I do remember is reaching into my hip pocket for my little Bible, tribal Bible, because God was going to bless my decision, because I was going to read the Bible to make him happy.
Ironic.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how we make those like bargaining things in our minds?
Oh, yeah.
Like, so like looking for jobs in the past and stuff like that. Like it's been like, well, I want a really good job. So the things that I don't normally do to like serve God or make sure that my relationship and my communication with him is open, I'm going to like hyper focus on that, because if I do that, then he will smile on me and favor me. And that way he'll support my decision, whatever it is.
Yeah, he won't see the difference.
Right.
You can like bait and switch God.
Right,
Yeah.
like,
Again,
that's
I was
not how
19.
that
I was
works at
stupid.
all. Yeah. It's funny how we like do those little things in our mind, for sure.
So you fell
32
feet?
32 feet. I was waist deep in a creek. It was a very shallow creek. I mean, you could jump across it. This is not like a Texas-sized creek. But you can drown in like an inch or two of water. Yeah. If I had been rotated 15 degrees, I'd have been dead. Because I was literally creeks here. I'm like this.
Wow.
I would have been face down. And I had a cell phone and a radio on my waist that was in the creek, dead. Water, electronics don't.
Right. Yeah.
So I remember rolling off of my bow, being close. I remember like army crawling myself up because my back hurt. My left foot felt kind of funky. So I remember like army crawling myself up the bank and screaming at the top of my lungs because I was hunting with my brother and a buddy of mine, and we were on opposite sides of this 40-acre piece of property.
Oh, wow.
And so my radio was dead. My cell phone was dead. I'm just screaming for help. I mean, I wasn't like I wasn't bleeding out or anything like that. It just, my back hurt. My left leg felt a little funny.
When you first came to, did you realize how much time has gone by?
No.
Okay.
Gotcha. I mean, it was lighter, so I knew it was later in the day, but I don't know how long I was out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to paint a picture for myself here a little bit. So you fall out of the tree, and the lower half of your body and most of your is in the creek.
Correct.
Right?
Waist down, more or less.
Yeah, so waist down, you're in the creek, and everything above that is kind of up against the bank, but like, or laying on the bank.
No, I would have been like I was belly down,
Okay.
face down, waist down in the water. And I remember like crawling off to my left to get up the bank. I didn't go very far because it really hurt.
How far? I mean, just guess, like, how far do you think you drug yourself before you were like, this is too much?
Maybe 10, just enough to get out of the water.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe that. I mean, again, I was in really good shape.
No, I know, but like, still, just the fact that you were in such excruciating pain that at 10 feet you were like, nope, done. Like, I'm not gonna die in the water now.
Right. Well, and I was worried about hypothermia. I'm like,
Yeah,
I was
for
stupid.
sure.
I didn't do enough to like, hey, my back hurts. If it's more than I need to go see a chiropractor a couple times because I legit thought, go see a chiropractor. I'll be good. I'll be back to work on next week. I'm fine. No. Yeah. So eventually, my brother and buddy made it back to the truck, and I wasn't answering my radio, wasn't answering my cell phone. So they came looking for me. We all knew where each other was. It's kind of one of the rules of hunting.
Yeah, that's hunting 101.
Right. And of course, kind of freaked them out. What do we do? I'm like, just go call Dad. My dad he's an electrical foreman, superintendent, worked construction his whole life. He taught all the OSHA classes. He knew, just go get Dad. What can't Dad fix?
Yep.
I remember that, he flew. We didn't have any cell phone service, so not if my cell phone was good, it wouldn't have mattered. He flew up to the gas station, got service, called Dad. What do we do? Don't touch him, was what I remember my dad telling him later. Got off the phone. My dad ran to the house. Honey, call 911. I'm going to get Andrew. Tell him to meet me at the property. So it was this 40-acre undeveloped piece of property. EMS shows up. I'm 200 yards from there. So they wait till one of the guys in a 4-wheel drive truck can ford the creek and get close to where I am. And then they put me on a stretcher, assess, make sure I'm not like bleeding out internally, asking me all the questions, start cutting clothes off. And throw me in the truck, bounce me through the woods to the EMS. They were going to fly me out.
I'm surprised they didn't.
So it was too low of a ceiling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
canopy.
Yeah, and so they weren't, and it was raining. So I ended up driving me 45 minutes up to what is now Meritus Medical Center in Hagerstown, Maryland. And kind of, I don't want to say if I wish, but I'm alive, so I'm happy. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
How long? So it was raining.
Yes.
What temperature wise?
60s.
Okay,
what time of day?
But still 60.
Morning. This was like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning.
It's chilly.
Yes, I was pretty cold.
Especially with no like sun shining through the clouds or anything like that. How long do you think you laid there?
I want to say maybe an hour or two. I don't.
Well, and that's when you became aware of
Right.
being
From
there.
coming to, from EMS getting to you about an hour or two. think?
Oh, for me waking up, yeah, hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
From,
okay.
you know,
Gotcha.
so
Okay.
I don't know how long I was there out.
Right.
You remember what time of day it was? I guess you don't remember when you fell, but do you remember when was it that you remember grabbing your Bible?
It was early. It was right. It was when it would have been light enough for me to read. So
Okay, so it was that same day, that same morning.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Like-
So you weren't laying out for hours overnight.
No,
Okay.
no. This was all morning. Yeah, my brother, and my buddy came back to the truck. I want to say like 9:30.
Okay.
Because sunrise was, I want to say 6:30, 7.
So yeah, and you,
It's 7. So yes,
you could have
shooting
been.
light would have
So
been
you
like
could have
6.
been laying there for a good 2 hours.
Yeah.
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 Two,
Huh.
1.5 to 2.5 hours, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, So total, I mean, from falling to EMS getting there, 4 hours.
let's say 3, 4.
3?
Yeah. Let's say
Okay.
3. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's still a long
Scary
time.
because
Yeah.
like. I mean, it was all the thoughts run through your head. Like, what if they just go? Oh, we're just gonna go home. He wants to pull it all day. He wants to sit in the stand all day. Like,
Yeah, like
I mean, in the middle of 40 acres, there's a highway 500 yards up the hill. Like, I might have to drag myself all the way up there.
Wow.
well, and I would imagine. I mean, I've never been in a situation like that, but I would imagine in a situation like that, like everything feels like it's forever.
Yes.
So regardless of the time frame, you feel like no one. I mean, I would imagine if I were in that situation, I'd be like, no one's ever going to come help
Oh,
me. This is
the
where I'm gonna
seconds
die.
are minutes.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
And then how much, like you said, like how much longer could it have been
Right.
if they would have just decided, hey, we're going to go back to
Right.
the house, and then 4 hours later, they're like,
We should
he
check
hasn't
on him."
called us
Right.
or anything to come
Yeah,
pick
3
him
hours
up.
could have been 12.
Yeah.
Could
Very
have been
easily.
8.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, easily. Okay, so like you're on your way to the hospital.
Yep.
You get there, and what do they find? I mean, like what's
Oh, yeah. So they roll me into the ER, take me out to X-ray, and I'm like, oh, I'm fine. We're gonna shoot an X-ray just to check you out.
So you were feeling, and you'll get to what happened here in a second,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like compared to what we know now,
right.
you were feeling.
I was
fine?
like, I
Was
was
it the
feeling
adrenaline?
okay.
What do you
I
mean?
think it was adrenaline somewhat.
Oh yeah, it had to be.
Yeah, a lot of adrenaline, a lot of just like my body pumping out some endorphins, so I don't
Yeah,
hurt
just
as
shock.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
just a little bit of shock.
Did they give you anything in the ambulance?
No,
Okay.
because I didn't know if I had any internal bleeding,
Mm.
and you don't want to dump my blood pressure by giving you morphine or anything like that.
Yeah,
But-
Yeah.
So if I was awake, of course I remember closing my eyes, just like not believing this, and then they'd be like, "Are you awake?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm awake. I'm fine. Leave me alone." Like
I'm mad.
I'm just
Let me be mad.
really mad right now because this is putting a dent in my Navy SEAL career, guys. I know it's funny to laugh about now, but
no,
at the time,
I know. Sorry. I'm just like the despair.
right? So they wheeled me to the ER, shoot an X-ray, and I hear I'm laying flat. They're not moving me up at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well, we're going to consult neurosurgery. Excuse me.
Yeah. What did you say?
Surgery?
What? Why are you calling neurosurgery? I need to see a chiropractor. No, you have a fracture burst third lumbar vertebrae. It was like, what? I'm not in one piece right now. Like 19-year-old me, dumb. Yeah, so I sustained what's called a burst fracture of my third lumbar vertebrae, where you have spiral fractures, but this is just where the bone just kind of exploded. One of the larger bone fragments that they saw, I think on MRI later, was compressing my third lumbar nerve 80 to 90%. So I still have long-term nerve damage from that.
Wow.
But I mean, considering I was 32 feet up in the air, I think it's every 6 feet you go up, you have the ability to like flip over on your head.
Yeah.
And I could have been a C-spine fracture. I could have been impaled by an arrow. I could have been dead and drowned in the water.
Yeah.
Just so many different things.
So with them knowing the injury, were
Mhm.
they able to tell you how they thought you landed?
So I had pain on my right side here, about like my right lumbar, right hip, I guess. That was hurting pretty bad afterward, like the following weeks afterward. And they hypothesized that I hit somewhere on that side, either on the tree or when I hit the ground, and then it went flat. because I also had a laceration. You used to have these scar right here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had a scar of laceration on my forehead, and then I had a laceration on the back of my head. So they assumed I just kind of tumbled and hit.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Which would make sense, right? If one of the first places to hit the ground, or
if I hit my head on the tree and then the back of my head on the tree.
But if
if
the
I
ground
leaned
was your hips.
I assume I fell asleep because I would have pitched forward.
Yeah.
And kind of just head over heels.
Yeah. And then you hit your hip or maybe the kind of, more towards the back, the lumbar.
Right.
If you hit that in the force.
Right. It would kind of get that shearing
and then,
action. Explosion.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Tom, I brought my x-rays.
Yeah, we're actually looking at an x-ray right now.
I'm out that x-ray right now. I'm looking at it.
We'll post a few pictures of these for you guys on our social medias, but it's...
Yes, yeah. So as you guys are listening, head over to the social media and you can see
it's pretty crazy
what he's talking about.
Yeah. It's pretty insane.
Because again, okay, I'll let you get into what they did, but this is
so
the X-rays.
That was a Saturday. Sunday morning, they had emergency surgery. I was stable enough to go to the ICU. I was given morphine on an empty stomach, and they did it IV. But a side effect of morphine is you get nausea, and vomiting. So here I was in the ICU, vomiting my guts out
with nothing in your stomach.
With nothing in my stomach.
That's always
with
fun.
With a spinal fracture. Yeah, it was absolutely terrible. But they had to wait till the morphine wore off to get me dilaudid. So fun times. So surgery Sunday morning. It was about an 8.5 hour surgery, if I remember correctly. Part of the reason it was 8 hours, and which is why I mentioned my physical fitness, was because they had to find the psoas muscle runs from right there in the lumbar region, and my psoas muscle was so large they had to go find a different retractor.
I was so
weird flex, but
I couldn't
okay.
even find my back.
Right? I know, weird flex, but yeah. Anyway, it was one of the funny anecdotes my parents told me about after. They was like, "Yeah, it would have been shorter, but we had." The surgeon came. It would have been shorter, but we had to find a different retractor because your son's muscles are so big. So that was Sunday. Went back to the ICU Monday. Tuesday, that was an anterior fusion. They went through my belly. And went from front to back.
Interesting.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. And they would have flipped me over and done a posterior fusion that day, but I had a cerebral spinal fluid leak, a tear in my dura, which covers the spinal cord in your brain and everything.
That's the thin, skin-like substance.
The dura mater.
Encapsulates your spinal cord, right?
Yeah, you didn't know you were going to get a science lesson or an anatomy lesson today, did you?
Well, I wouldn't know what it was unless you would have given the short description. So I was like, just in case our listeners are as dumb as I am.
So yeah, on that interior approach, there's a wire cage that you see. Mm-hmm. They took out all the bone fragments of my third lumbar vertebrae and packed it in that cage, and then hammered the cage in. But that wasn't going to give me enough stability to recover. So then they wanted to let me cool off for 2 days, and they took me back on a Tuesday and did another fusion posteriorly through my back.
How long was that one?
That was another 8 hour surgery.
Wow. So 16 hours under the needle.
Under the light.
Yeah. So funny story. Skipping ahead here. I went into medicine. I was a surgical tech for many years, and my clinicals were at the very hospital that treated me, and I worked with the surgeon who treated me.
That's
there you
awesome.
go. That's cool.
That's a cool story.
Cool. He's really slow, but methodical.
Hey, I'd rather a surgeon be slow and
I
correct
guess
than
that's
fast
true.
and wrong.
Super nice guy, great surgeon. I instrumental in my life, so I'm not ridiculing or giving a credit. Yeah, I remember being like, "Oh my gosh, dude, hurry up." Especially as a student when I don't know anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was whatever that would be, 2 days after the 26th, September 26th. Spent another 2 days in the ICU till they were sure I was stable. Then I went to the floor, and actually I was released October 5th, 2006.
Look at that.
Right.
It's kind of cool.
Yesterday, 17 years ago.
Wow.
If I do math right.
Yes.
So beyond the what?
No, we were just doing the math in our head. I'm terrible at math. I'm like
2006, right?
Yep.
17. I think it's 17.
17, then 10.
Right.
Yep. Okay.
Um,
Math checks out.
Okay. Yes. Beyond all the in addition to the physical things that had happened in the surgery, I was working with a catering company. I'd been kicked off of my parents' insurance, and my new insurance hadn't.
Oh no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you were not covered for
I
this.
was not insured.
That is.
Does anybody want to guess?
That is a nightmare.
Does anybody want to guess?
No.
This is 2006 money.
Okay.
Still though, dude. I mean, the emergency surgery alone, you're probably into 5 figures.
Oh, I'm gonna blow your mind then.
Is that good then? I don't know.
176, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay. That's actually not as bad as I thought.
Right.
But I mean, I had no idea.
I just paid it off last year.
Wow.
Yes.
So $176,000.
$1,000.
Correct.
Yep.
That is insane.
It is insane. But let me. All right, we'll go down that road.
Someone
in a
should put
second.
that in today's money.
Right. Also,
Yeah.
if any like mathematicians or statisticians are listening, like I would like to know the odds of me surviving. Like falling 32 feet, almost drowned in a creek, didn't get stabbed by a bow, didn't bleed. I don't know if you even can.
Yeah, I mean, you could
quantify
probably
that.
take right. There's like the possibility of you landing and immediately dying, right? Landing on your head or something,
Right.
Right. There's the possibility of you drowning in the creek.
Right.
There's a possibility of being impaled by the bow,
Right.
and then bleeding out or dying immediately.
Right. That's I've always been curious.
And those are all just like certain death things, right? So
Right.
it's like,
That's crazy.
yeah, I don't know how you'd quantify that, but
I don't know. I'm not a math guy.
I think you could definitely look back on it now and say, although I was trying to appease God, right, and I was doing things that I think that He would like, not really doing it for the absolute right reason, He still had me. Like He still took care of me.
yes.
It's a miracle. Honestly, if
Right.
you look at it,
Right.
it's a miracle you survived.
Oh, absolutely. And it was many years later because again, it happened to me while I was angry and bitter, and I fueled my anger and bitterness for a while. But however many years later, and it was still in debt, but I look back on it and go, "Thank you, God," because I don't want to know the life I would have had in the Navy. Because I would not have been a Navy SEAL. It's a great marketing tool, but I would never have made it.
Crazy.
So yeah, I was uninsured. So I couldn't afford physical therapy. So I ended up doing, the YMCA had a scholarship membership that I applied to, and I swam for a couple months and rehabbed myself.
Huh.
Yep. So 176,000, I think if I remember correctly, it was 176,000. This is again where God was just going, here's some grace upon grace upon grace upon grace. The anesthesia department went to church with lifetime family friends of ours. I remembered if they called, of whatever reason, if I paid 10% in cash, they would take it. If I remember correctly, the radiology department was, if you can pay cash, we'll cut it down to 50%.
Wow.
Right. I called the hospital, applied for physical or financial assistance, and they cut that down 40%.
Wow.
And then the surgeon's bill was around $45,000. And he applied to the Maryland State Trauma Physicians Fund for people like me who are uninsured and can't pay their bill. I told him, like, dude, I'll pay you, but it's going to be like $5 a month for the rest of my life. He got paid in full.
Wow.
And I didn't have to pay that.
That's great.
So I'm going to ask the question. In the moment, did you see any of that as God working?
No, not in the moment.
How could you? Yeah.
It started getting more apparent the bigger the numbers were, and I hate to sound. Does that make sense though? Like,
What?
So anesthesia was $2,500.
Yeah. At any moment though, were you like, well, I know I've talked to people who've had like this kind of mentality before. Well, God better take care of it. He did this to me.
A little bit of that, yeah.
Okay.
A little bit of that was there, and then my church started a fund where people could give, that helped me pay with my bills, and a lot of people gave money out of that. I paid some bills off of that, but then the hospital was what I just finished paying off last year.
Well, congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Save that statement.
Yeah. Does it feel? Because I mean, like we're 17 years past the accident and the whole traumatic event, but like, was there kind of like a weight kind of lifted off you when you think back to it? Like, hey, I'm done with this completely.
Yes and no. It was nice to not have to pay that. It was more a little nostalgic. Be like, okay, all right, I guess so. That chapter in my life is over.
This chapter's ending.
Yeah.
But so the question I had was, so that 176, was that with all the discounts?
No, that was full total.
That was full. Okay, gotcha.
Correct. I had a spreadsheet somewhere.
No, I was just because I was if
no.
that is with the discounts,
No.
I don't even want to know.
No, I remember the spine surgery being around 45,000 and the hospital being like 120, which they cut down to whatever the math is on that. I think 80 or 70 something.
Yeah, which we did the math and it was around 244.
Okay.
In today's money.
$250,000.
Yeah. If I did my inflation calculations correctly.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. I believe it.
That's insane. I mean, that's an exorbitant amount of money.
As a 19-year-old.
As a 19-year-old kind of being smacked. Here you go.
Yeah.
Not only physically, but and then financially.
Yeah.
I thought I'm going to be
too soon.
Well, and like thinking to yourself, like, how many years am I going to have to work? Like, how many years salary is that, right? Like, that's insane.
Unfortunately, there is I don't know if it's a state law or federal law that as long as you are making an attempt to pay, they cannot come after you and didn't affect my credit.
Oh, that's
so in the past 17 years, I bought and sold 3 houses.
Yeah.
So it's not like I had to, live paycheck. I don't have to live paycheck to paycheck because I'm stupid.
Medical debt doesn't affect your credit unless it goes into collection.
Which it did. Because then I got married and I forgot to forward my address or we moved. For whatever reason, I remember like getting a phone call being like, "You're now in collections." Thanks. So I was paying. I had a yearly date with the collections call because they had to re-up my credit card information every year in case it changed. Stupid. And every year, can you pay a little bit more? Can you pay a little bit more? No, all I can pay is $25 a month or $50 a month or whatever.
Right,
and then I did the math one day and I was like, if I pay whatever X amount of dollars per month, I'll have this knocked out by the end of the year and I just want to do it and get it done. But the no interest, no credit score effect, as far as I know. Cool. I mean, not that I know of.
Yeah, well,
not that I really care about my credit score, but I mean, I do, but I don't.
Well, I mean, if you're paying on it, it falls off anyway.
Right.
So.
Like 3 years, I think it falls off. But, well, I mean, like, how good of an example, like, when you have a church that surrounds you, right? Like, what better example of what a church should be, right?
Absolutely.
That takes care of their members, who says, hey, we have this is the situation going on with this member. They surround you financially. They make it known to the church is praying for you. I mean, can you imagine, right? If you were
didn't have that
unbeliever, were in church,
been terrible.
A completely different situation. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what that would be like, because I mean, all my life I've been around church and stuff like that. Like,
same here.
How do unsaved people get through stuff like that? I mean, I know family plays a big role in stuff like that, but man,
it's. Well, and then on the tail end of my recovery, I remember being in the hospital. They took me off the pain pump. You push it every 8 minutes and get a hit, a PCA, thank you. And they gave me Percocet.
Hello.
No, thank you. Did not like Percocet.
No?
I was on the ceiling. Hated it. So I took 2 right after the PCA, and then they came back for the next dose. I'm like, I'm gonna take 1 because I don't like that feeling. And after that, I was still levitating. I was like, is there anything else, like, smaller? And they gave me Darvocet, which has been discontinued now, which is Tylenol with a little bit of morphine in it, but highly addictive. And so, yeah, it's good stuff. But I remember on the tail end of it, this was Thanksgiving? Yeah, Thanksgiving 2006. I just like, I'm going to quit. I'm a tough guy. I don't need these drugs. I'm done with pain. I'll just take Tylenol. I remember like an hour after my dose was due, just like shivering and just miserable. Oh, it was terrible. I called my mom, I'm getting the flu. I'm going to be sick and we can't. No, you're in withdrawals. Took a pill. Right as rain.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I had
How long were you on it before that happened?
I I said Thanksgiving. It may have been Christmas. I remember being cold. It was a couple months.
Okay.
And so I ended up weaning myself off it, cutting him in half, and then every 4 hours, I'd make that 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, and just kind of wean myself off. But it gave me an appreciation for people who have, narcotic abuse, because it is a real thing. Like it affects.
Yeah, for sure.
It affects you. There are physical. It's not like I have to have my hit. No, like you will feel like junk.
So, sorry,
You're good.
I'm stuck on the scan of the finished work here.
Yep.
So how long is this conical thing that's around your...
I'm not 100% sure the
vertebrae
cage.
Yeah, the cage.
I believe the screws are 55 millimeters. Because when I went into healthcare as a scrub tech, I got to load the screws and give them to the surgeon, and I was like,
okay, so
that's what a 55 looks like.
Isn't as long as... So the screws are definitely longer than the cage, but still... Let's guesstimate 45 millimeters.
Sure.
And that's like in
that
your
is in me.
Spine right now. Like, so it's around your spinal column?
No, it's in the space where the vertebrae should be.
Oh, okay, so it's like bridging the gap between two other vertebrae.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they had to take out, so in between each vertebrae there's disc material. They took out the disc material, they took out the vertebrae, they took out the disc material above and below, and the vertebrae, and then packed the cage full of bone, and packed that in there.
Now, with this fix, are you expected to ever have to go back and possibly mess with this again?
So I don't plan on it. I do have. It's hard to. You may not be able to see it on that X-ray. Yeah, because you only can see all four. I do have what's called spondylolisthesis, which you can kind of see.
That's fun to say.
Yeah. If you think of your, right.
Don't ask me to say it because I'm going to butcher it, but it sounds fun to say.
If you think of your vertebrae as like books stacked up on each other, and they're supposed to be all more or less in a line.
Yeah.
Spondylolisthesis is when one is either like pushed in or pushed out.
Okay.
And it's not in a line. And so they had actually, it's in the operative report because I'm a bit of a nerd. I asked for my op report afterwards so I could read it because I was curious. It was mentioned in the op report that they noticed L5, S1, or sacral vertebrae that I had spondylolisthesis, and they considered fusing me down to S1, but to maintain range of motion as a 19-year-old, they elected not to. But yeah, that's part of the reason I work out and stretch, and I really don't want to ever have spine surgery ever again. It's the worst.
Understandably.
So, does it like hurt when it gets cold? I mean, it's Texas, right? So does it really get cold?
Yeah, for that, 3-day stint in February, does it hurt?
I can tell when it's like, oh, is it going to rain? Yeah, it's probably raining right now.
Oh, look at you having old people superpowers
right?
when you're
That's
young.
pretty cool, yeah.
What's really cool is the nerve damage, like at the inside of my knee. I can like poke it with a needle, and I don't feel the pain. I can feel the pressure, but I don't feel the pain.
Oh,
just on
that
the
gives me
just
so
on my
many
left,
like
cool.
Just on my left leg, my
got a knife on him.
That's
pinky
Texas
toe,
theory right now.
my pinky toe, ring toe, like these two feel kind of fuzzy.
Yeah, I have something similar, and this is no
that's fine
comparison.
No.
This is me going to a car wreck with like my bike, with my chain fell off of it. But this is I almost severed this finger with a knife closed on it, and all the way down to the bone, everything. And now this whole side of my index finger, there's nothing. I can feel it. There's pressure, but I couldn't ever feel pain on it.
So you know what a dead body feels like.
Yep.
That's funny.
What?
Sorry, that was a little morbid.
That was a little
Pretty morbid, but
well, what's great is that your spinal cord kind of stops at your second lumbar vertebrae, and then you have just that array, cauda equina is what it's called, a horse's tail of nerves that come out of your third, fourth, fifth lumbar vertebrae. So it was God gonna as I went through my life and went further into medicine and learned more, I was like God kind of going, you see what I did there, buddy? Like you see what it could have been. I was like, oh, okay, thank you, God.
So you've recovered and weaned yourself off the drugs.
I was off the drugs. Yep, that was let's say January 2007. I took a computer class 2007 because I figured I was going to have a sit-down job the rest of my life because, I'm an invalid. I literally was like walking around with a cane.
I wanted to ask about that.
Mm-hmm.
So the rehab stage, you said you swam.
Yep.
How did they expect you to walk? Did they talk about that at all? Like, was that a concern ever? Like, how was the conversation and your mentality about getting back on your feet, and the stress of all that? Like, how was that when you were in the hospital still?
It was super stressful in the hospital as far as like OT came, PT came, physical therapy, occupational therapy came through. Occupational therapy came through and actually aggravated my CSF leak. And I ended up having to be flat for like 48 hours because I, that's what you do when you have your CSF leak. You just lay flat and let it seal up. But they're like, did their assessment and like, well, he's good to go. He can get from the bed to the chair. He can get from the chair to the bathroom. Peace out, dude. You're good.
So you could walk though in the hospital. I could
shuffle.
Okay.
With a walker.
How long after the
with
surgery?
A walker.
Like a week. Yeah.
Okay.
I was in the hospital for about 2 weeks.
Gotcha. Only 2 weeks?
The 20
modern
20
medicine.
Right. The 22nd to the October 5th. It's about two and a half
Yeah,
weeks.
I mean, once they get you stable, right after the surgeries
they
and
need
stuff.
that, dude.
For the uneducated person like me, whenever I hear spinal surgery, I'm like, bedridden 2 months. That's what I think.
Well, that was what they offered me. They're like, all right, you have two options. You can have surgery or you can have a body cast for 6 months.
Yikes.
Like, well, the body cast sounds cheaper.
It probably was. Actually, I would guarantee you it was.
Right. But I'm like, well, what do you recommend? They're like, we really recommend surgery. And I was like, all right, that's fine. I really don't want a body cast because that's
so the body cast, they were saying that this would heal on its own.
Yeah.
Really?
Could have.
Oh, so it was a risk.
Right.
Could heal the right way, could heal the wrong way.
Exactly.
Okay, the surgery was probably the better option.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. No, especially know what I know now. 100%,
Yeah.
100%.
So now we're up to January 07.
Yeah, 07.
And you are walking.
I went to community college.
Okay. So life is back to normal-ish.
I'd
gotcha.
swim. I'd go to computer class, which I failed.
You still doing pull-ups on your steel bar basement?
No.
Okay.
So before we go too much further, like the physical aspect of it, I think we've covered pretty well. Like, if you don't mind,
sure.
like what's like spiritually, kind of what were you going through? Because we're talking about like you had this idea in your head that you were going to go be a Navy SEAL, right? And God loves our armed forces, so why would He take that away from you?
Right.
Just kind of thoughts that I would think, but I mean, where was your headspace at, like spiritually?
Not a very good walk.
Okay.
I wasn't reading my Bible a whole lot. My pastor actually was taking me once a week to this massage therapist who had some type of like light therapy to help with nerve regeneration.
Okay.
Magic. Okay.
Yeah, basically
so
magic.
your pastor was taking you to someone who did magic.
He pulled out
he was
sage
getting
candles
he was getting the massage because he had health issues of his own.
Okay.
And he was like, I'll come pick you up and we'll talk. And, and a lot of times we just drove in silence and sometimes we talked about stuff. And it was a really good time. I developed a really good relationship with him. But yeah, I was angry. I was bitter. I was like, why did God take this away from me? What am I supposed to do now? Where am I supposed to go? Like, I was really, I don't want to say like lost, but like a ship without a rudder, a sail, and then I was just floating. So that was that spring. Finished that spring semester, and then I got invited to come to Texas. My sister lived in Houston at the time, and then I was going to come up here and visit all the friends I'd met on the Thailand trip.
Okay.
2 years later, and hang out at Metropolitan with why can I think of his name right now?
The guy you were in Thailand with?
Yes. Brian Atkinson.
Yes, there you go.
Brian and Jacob Hunka and all those guys. They were all on staff over Metro. And they were just coincided that they were going to have VBS that week. And I was like, oh, cool. I'll come up and help prep for VBS because Metro went all out for VBS. And lo and behold, who was the church secretary? My wife. Well, my wife. So I stayed for a week, helped get prepped. And it was really cool, just serving, working in church. Like, we just would talk and hang out, and then kind of decided I want to, like, be friends. because the way I was raised was you not betrothed, you get to court. And so you gotta ask, the dads have to like come together and like arrange this marriage. And so I remember vividly
Trade the sacred cow.
Yes. Yep.
There's a covenant that's made, and they walk between. Oh wait, no, that was something else.
Right. So I remember calling my parents, be like, "Yeah, there's this girl down here. Like, I just want to be friends with her. Like, I don't want to talk to her. I need to talk to her dad first, right? Yeah, or really, we should talk." I don't know, it's just anyway. Long story short, I ended up talking to Sarah, be like, "Hey, do you want to like be friends? Because that's all you could be."
Now, at the time, was that code for
date?
Yeah.
No, you're just friends, and like, do you get to
spend more time with each other?
Yeah,
talk to each other, like have a purpose in like.
But I'm just thinking, like, when you came up and asked her, "Do you want to be friends?" Like, did she know that? Oh, this guy probably likes me a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
All right.
Okay. So then I ended up talking to her dad, and we was like, "Oh yeah, we'll have to think about it." Okay. And it was like, "Yeah, you can email through me. Like you email me and I'll forward it on to her, and then she'll email me and I'll forward it on to you."
Mm-hmm.
That was how we did it, and we could talk on Friday nights only.
How old are you guys?
I was 19.
Okay.
And she was older than me, slightly, not very much.
Smart. Yeah.
Both my younger sister and younger brother did the same thing with their spouses.
Wow.
Yeah, they were allowed to write each other, but it had to be addressed like care of my parents. And then my parents read all the incoming letters.
The filter. Yep.
Yeah, and my parents read all the outgoing letters to make sure that everything
so
was
crazy to think
appropriate.
about.
Could you imagine that, dude?
And then like
No.
even
I cannot.
and you may have experienced this too. Like even when they like their spouses like would come to visit before they got married, before they even got engaged. Because they lived, like, one of them lived up in, I don't know, Wisconsin, and the other one lived in, actually also Wisconsin. That's weird. They would come down and visit, or my brother would go up and visit, and they had to, like, stay downstairs. There had to be a full floor of separation and a parent's bedroom between it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not criticizing that. People have certain ways that they do things.
It's better to have precautions.
I don't know. And so traditionally, worldwide, arranged marriages actually work better because there's a commitment before there's love. And so in Western culture is one of the few cultures that we base all of our marital decisions on love. So it's really strange. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Go ahead. That was my one little thing.
I didn't know what I wanted, like how I wanted to date. I didn't want to, have a series of dating relationships. So, but that was what I knew. So this is what I tried to do. And it worked. So far it's worked out. 15.
Yeah.
Where was I going? Yeah, so then we emailed and talked on the phone. Our first conversation was like 20 minutes. I think our longest was like 4 hours.
Wow.
We knew within like 6 weeks that we were wanting to go, be more than just friends.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so we were engaged in May of 2008 and married in June 2009.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Long distance was the worst. She'd come up to Maryland every couple of months, and I'd come down here every couple of months. I stayed at like the mission house. I stayed at their, with her at their, at her parents' house. Made it work.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So she moved up there when y'all got married?
So yeah, we got married. So the reason, part of the reason we were engaged for a year was I had to finish tech school. It was funny, dude. Like I remember going home and being like, all right, I'm not gonna tell anybody, but like I want to get married to this girl. Like this is awesome. How much money do I need? What kind of a job do I need to make this kind of money? Like what do I want to do? What am I interested in? Computers were not an option. Physical labor, not an option. Like what can I do? And it was, I had at the time, the vision to be a physician's assistant, a PA.
Okay.
And so I started looking at PA schools. How do you get into PA school? You have to have a bachelor's. It's a master's degree. What if I don't like it and I sink all this money into it? So, all right. The community college has a 2-year surgical tech program that I can knock out $5 or $6 grand, knock it out in a year, take my anatomy and physiology classes, scrub tech program. Anyway, so I ended up getting accepted into the program, graduating in May and getting married in June of 2009.
Well played.
Right. And I was working at a little hole in the wall pizza place. It's not good pizza, but it was a job that paid me $10 an hour. And we got married and moved in to a townhouse, which is common up in Maryland, in between 2 halfway houses for psychiatric patients. Come to find out, that's why it was so cheap.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't know that until later. But like, there's like a full-grown lady walking around in circles, holding a baby doll, waiting for the bus to come pick her up.
Like you're scratching.
As one does.
As one does, yeah. But it was really formative. You know, it was formative. It made us survive on less.
Yeah.
You know, I remember I went to go back to work for the catering company for a stint because I needed a job. 2009. I didn't get a scrub tech job until October. So in between June and October, I worked electrical helper for my dad. I worked for a catering job. I remember taking home leftovers that we were going to throw away from the catering job and living off of those.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Funny how God even provides like that.
Entertainment.
Right?
Entertainment was
crazy.
movies and shows from the library because that's free. I remember going to the library with my old laptop and applying for jobs. I remember getting an interview. I actually drove down to the shock trauma hospital and went to the HR department. Was like, "Hey, I applied, but I want to make sure you got my resume." Ended up getting an interview. Didn't get hired, but that's fine.
Do you think your experience with your back and everything had anything influenced at all your desire to go into medicine, or was it literally just I can make money doing this and it's a low barrier of entry, potential high outcome?
No, I had an appreciation for, as a 19-year-old kid sitting in the ER, freaked out. Maybe I could be that helping hand to another patient, another kid. Be like, hey, I've been in your shoes. It's going to be okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Was kind of my vision at the time. And so the PA, I didn't want to go to med school at the time. PA school was a low enough barrier of entry, I thought at the time, to shoot for it at least.
Yeah.
And scrub tech school was quick, cheap, relatively easy. So that was 2009. Fast forward. I mean,
well, how'd you get down here? So you're up in Maryland.
So
you're married.
Maryland.
How'd you get down here?
2000
God's country.
2015. Well, I guess I should back up. There's more to the story. 2011, I was trying to figure out what I want to do with my life, trying to still, get into PA school or nursing school or the next step. So I remember applying for 5 programs, 3 nursing programs, a PA bachelor's program, and a respiratory therapy program, figuring I could either go any of those routes. Wherever God wanted me to go, he'd open the door. And so I ended up getting into the respiratory therapy program and doing that. And this, again, God was growing me. I was back. I had a change of, I don't know. How do I say it? God and I were on good terms.
Realignment.
A realignment. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah,
that
I
one.
got you.
What was there?
I never left church, but I'd go to church and be like, well, I'm here, but I'm just checking the box.
Yeah.
I'm serving, but because I have to.
Yeah. Or I always have.
Right. Yeah. I always have and I always will, just because you go to church.
Do you remember a certain point where that started to change for you, or was it just a gradual thing?
It was 2010, 2011. At that time, my wife and I actually decided to leave the church I grew up in. Okay. Which was a big deal for my family because my brother-in-law was the pastor, and it was a rocky time for the family. It was a tumultuous time, I should say. Okay. It was a big deal. I don't know how to leave a church, so it was just like, hey, can I talk to you after church in your office? Yeah, we're leaving. Bye. Ran in my car. I
Well, especially family too.
Right.
Like I wouldn't know how to. I mean, it was hard enough the first time that like the Lord moved us from a church. So I couldn't imagine it being family too.
But we had that realization of we literally just we come in late, we leave as soon as we can. We come here and do things because we have to. We're not growing. We're not reading our Bible like we should. We need something else. And I'd always been told growing up Sunday school, like you have to make it your own. And I 100% agree with that. You have to make it your own.
Yeah.
And it wasn't our own. It was, because I'd always gone to that church. I grew up in that church since I was 10, 12.
Yeah, sometimes it takes something like that.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes to truly make it your own.
Right.
You have to kind of step out of that comfort zone because you have it's a lot of family in the church. You said
for sure.
Your
my whole family went there.
Brother-in-law's the pastor.
Right.
It's like kind of insulated, right?
Right.
So it's like, hey, let's step out of that. Let's go to somewhere where it's fresh and I'm not really, there's no expectations.
Yeah.
And I can really cut down to the core and make it my own.
And it wasn't like we were, going far left Christianity. We went to another Baptist church.
Yeah,
we didn't, we believed all the same things. We just weren't living it. That was 2011. 2012, I got accepted to that program, and I remember accepting it going, God, I don't know how I'm going to pay for this, but I'm relatively certain this is your will that I take this program or go to this program. And sign the papers. I remember at the altar praying, just like, God, if you've got to make this happen. If this is you've got to make this happen. I got up, and the next week, you've qualified for a full ride. Okay.
There you go.
Cool.
Okay, Lord.
Thanks. Okay.
Yep.
Check.
Answer the prayer.
Yeah. So then
Immediately.
2014, Max was born 2013. 2014, I graduated, and then started applying for different programs. 2015, applied for PA school programs all over the U.S., just trying to figure out what should I do? Where should I go? Knock on enough doors. God's going to open one of them, right? Didn't get in anywhere. Didn't even get waitlisted anywhere. So I had this bright idea. I was like, all right, next year on the application cycle, I'm not going to tell Sarah, but I'm going to apply to med school because if I can't get into PA school, I can absolutely get into med school because that's so much easier. Again, I'm stupid. So we kind of tossed it around like, well, why don't we move to Texas? Because there's a lot more school options. There's, just my family's down there. There's TCU. Of course, TCU didn't med school at that point, but there's just more options.
Yeah.
So we put our house on the market 2015. It went flat nowhere, months, and we had 3 showings. Partly because we need to do some remodeling. Anyway, took it off the market, did some remodeling. Tried again for 2016. We had it on the market, and when we prayed about it, we were like, all right, we're going. Had it on the market 3 weeks and got an offer. And I think really God was just testing us because he's like, how serious are you going to be?
Yeah.
And her parents were going to come help us drive all of our junk down. And we were going. And the day before my in-laws flew in, we got an offer for $5,000 more than the list price. And they wanted to close in 3 weeks. And my realtor was like, if you don't get over here and sign this soon, I'm going to forge your signature.
Wow.
That's a good realtor right there.
Right. 2016, we moved down to Texas, August 1st, 2016. I remember crossing the border into God's country. And took the MCATs twice and quickly realized that I'm not med school material. Took a bunch of other classes at TCC, physics, OChem. Loved OChem so much I took it twice because I didn't pass. Or I didn't get it. I got a C the first time. Yeah. In between all that, I had gotten my certification as a first assistant, so that could move me up a role, if you will, in the OR from counting instruments to working across the surgeon. As another pair of hands.
Handing him stuff.
Well, I don't hand them stuff.
Open.
I get to hold stuff and actually do stuff. I actually get to cut and to sew, and
that's kind of cool.
It's super cool. Push babies out.
Can I tell that story?
For sure.
Or pull babies.
Yeah. So me and my wife recently had a little girl, and it was an induced labor. We didn't know that we were going to have a C-section until about 5 minutes before we decided to have one. So now I know a C-section is a very common surgery. It's done many, many times a day, as Andrew can attest to. So it's not like a super concerning surgery, but it's a surgery, right? So in any surgery, I've always been told that it's surgery is always scary under any circumstances. There's always risk, so in the heat of the moment, it was very emotional. My wife's going under the knife. You're awake for a C-section, so she's shaking. She's scared. And Andrew had come to us weeks before that and let us know that he works in a hospital, that if we wanted to, if we were comfortable with it.
Or if it comes down to it. Are you okay with this?
Yeah. Or he just offered like, hey, I'm able to if you want me to. I'm more than happy.
But if you
to.
Don't want me there, I totally get it.
Absolutely.
It's a very personal deal.
So, and what's actually funny is I forgot to mention that to Jenna until the day of. And I was like, hey, I don't know how you feel about this.
Husband.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel about this. I know how I feel about it is, when you're going in that situation and you have a lot of these nurses and doctors that you don't know. We had our OB that we have grown to know over the 9 months, right? So you have a little bit of rapport and trust with this woman. And then you have someone that you love and trust as part of your church family, right? That's operating on you. So you have two people instead of just one. And that really helped our mentality in that room, was having one person who I know cared about our well-being and would not lie to us. And then another person, right, who our OB, who has helped Jenna through this whole thing. And that was awesome. It was great having you there for that.
Glad I could be there.
Yeah, no, it was a God thing. I texted him, hey, we just decided to do this. We're like 30 minutes out. Are you able to, right? And he could have easily just been home, right, and not been on call that day, but he just happened to be like, yep, I'm here in the office. I texted him, hey, do I need to request you? How does this work? He goes, I got it. Last text I got from Andrew.
Your physician was actually texting me at the same time.
That's funny.
I was like, I got it. Don't worry about it. We're good. I'll see you back.
And that was the last text I got from Andrew. And then I saw him in the room.
Here's the question: if you wouldn't, because did Wagner know that you guys knew each other?
No.
So was she already reaching out to you anyway?
Yes.
To do it?
So part of what I do is at this hospital, I have a pretty good rapport at this hospital, pretty good following of the physicians there, that I'm trustworthy and I do a decent job and whatnot. And so I usually check in with the staff, like, hey, since I'm self-employed, I'm not employed by the hospital, I just say, hey, I'm here. If you need help, let me know. And so when the physicians talks to the charge nurse, hey, we're going to do a C-section on this room or this patient, the charge nurse's next question is, do you need an assistant? And so they go, yes. Do you know of anybody who's here? Yeah, Andrew's here. It's perfect. So they're shooting me a text. You're texting me. It was just a barrage of text messages. It was pretty cool.
I never thought about that. I didn't know how it all shook down, but I never realized that the OB, Wagner, was already communicating with Andrew to get this. Cool. It was already happening. God was already putting it together.
How many is there any other person like you in that hospital?
There's a couple. Yeah, I have a couple surgical assistants who work for me at that hospital, and then there's other independent surgical assistants who work there. They don't take as much call necessarily. I like to work. I like my job. So, and I actually I wasn't on call. I didn't actually take official call.
Yeah.
One of my other physicians had called me and said, hey, can you come in? So I said, sure. I actually ended up doing 6 C-sections that night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he was done when he was finishing up Jenna, he's like, all right, off to my next one. He walks out the room and he's on to his next one.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, because part of we have 4 ORs at that hospital, and I never really would have thought going into healthcare that God would have blessed me with this position, but I literally can tell the staff, hey, if you're waiting on me for the next C-section, roll back, because I'll be there in 10 minutes. By the time I'm done my job, you guys will be ready for me.
Yeah.
And I did 6 C-sections in like 3 hours. 3 or 4 hours.
That was awesome.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. And I never would have thought as a first assistant that I would have gone into women's health. It really wasn't my main objective. I want to do orthopedics because that's hammers and saws and bones and Hulk smash.
Oh yeah.
But I definitely see God working through that, because can I tell this story when they push the button?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I meant to go for it.
That's okay. No, we have a button on the wall that we can push. That's basically the NICU button, all hands on deck. And so again, I've done this before where I have OR ADHD. I'm listening to the patient's monitor. I'm listening to the CST, the nurse. I hear everything that's going on.
Yeah, which is funny because they have people for that,
Right.
Like they have the anesthesiologist monitoring her vitals, and like so it's funny that Andrew's sitting there listening to everyone else doing their job as well.
Like, when you're in it for that long, for as long as you are, like you kind of just I can understand how it comes like second nature. Like, ooh, that sounds different.
So
That's irregularity.
I look over and I see the monitor, the baby monitor, and I hear the button and I hear the alarm going off on the hallway, and I go, "Hey, Brice, just FYI." They called the cavalry.
Which was the most terrifying thing you could have said.
Right. And he's like, what? I was like, about 20 people are going to pour through that door in the next 30 seconds. And don't freak out.
It did.
And
it was like, bam, 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 just run. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Seriously, because they don't know what's going on. It could be a full-on baby arrest. It could be anything. And so everybody comes in. I'm like, 20 people are going to run through that door. And in like 3 minutes, 3 of them are going to be left. And so I love that God has put me in this position to where I can be on both, because my wife had a C-section with our daughter. I've been on both sides of the curtain, on both sides of the drape, and I can appreciate what the uninitiated can go through.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's it's just a great job. I love what I do. We sit there and wait a minute for the cord blood to go into the baby, and we just kind of wait there. And what a lot of babies don't know is I sit there and pray for them.
Wow.
Pray for their salvation. I pray for their, we've got some future pastors and missionaries, and they don't even know it. Their first minute of life, I'm amazing. Sitting there. I tickle their foot because it helps get them breathing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, God, save this boy. Let him. If he's crying a lot, be like, I want someone to preach the gospel.
This one has a voice on him.
Right.
Let him use it for you, Lord.
Yeah, exactly. Just different little prayers.
Yeah.
And I don't. It's what I can do in a minute. We're just sitting there. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, look at the baby. Just silently pray for him. Yeah.
Well, and I think that's one of the things. I don't want to say this and seem weird, but like that's one of the things that I've come to love and respect about you is like just the heart that you have for people.
Absolutely.
And that's I'm 100% positive that's one of the reasons why our church elected you as one of our deacons. It's just the way that you like care for people and the way that you serve, and it's very obvious. It's very visible. I can't even. I mean, I'm sure most of us would say this about people that we know, like down the road after the fact, after they've matured. But like, I can't even imagine a time in your life where you would be like, "Oh God, why did you do this?" You know what I mean?
Right.
But like, so you made it. You made it to Texas. You made it here to Lake Worth. Like when. Really quickly before we start wrapping up, like when we were starting to make selections for like deacons and stuff like that, like what did, from your perspective, when I don't even know who would have come to you and been like, hey, your name came up X amount of times, right? Like, but how did you feel during that selection process, and then when we actually like ordained you as a deacon? Like what did that feel like? Because you're coming from wherever you came from, and there were some it was hard to leave that church, I'm sure, and like and then going to where you've been, and then getting down here to Texas and to Lake Worth, just the whole selection process. Like what did that feel like for you?
Yeah, I'll start with the selection process of Lake Worth, because I remember when we visited a bunch of different churches, and growing up in a church where we only sang out of hymnals and had a piano, 2 pianos, an organ and piano, whatever. Like I wanted to sing out of a hymnal, and I didn't really care about the drums, it still kind of was like, sorry, Kyle.
We worked on
We've worked through it.
Yeah.
I remember just going from church to church, but like, man, they just don't. I guess I can deal with the words on the projector, but we don't have a lot of churches that sing a lot of hymns. And I'm talking to Zach, and he's like, there's nothing wrong with the church. Just have the music. It's just not what I'm used to. I remember, the whole beat thing. I know you guys have talked about this a second.
Yeah.
Like, it just bothers me. He's like, where is that in the Bible?
Dang it.
It's not. Yeah. So that was eventually, God led us here. I think we joined October, I want to say.
Okay.
What year?
Of 2016. We moved here in August, so we bounced back and forth, and we lived with my in-laws
that's pretty short.
It was relatively short.
That was when I was wayward. So I stepped away from the church for a little while, and then I came back in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it was interesting, because I guess the question, like, when were you ordained as a deacon?
That was post-COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah.
21.
21.
Okay, so that was
21,
Yeah, I'd been in church for been here a member for a while.
Gotcha.
And I loved how with the selection process, I never even thought I would have been a candidate, to be 100% honest with you. I was like, not in a million years, like, would have been me. I remember the people vaguely remember the people I voted for, writing it down, but I was really blown away by how we did it. We didn't have our pray about these 5. We didn't have, lay hands on them. We just said, go home, pray about it, and then vote.
But and that's one of the
Like
the things
the Bible says.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the things I love that Zach and like our church did under Zach's leadership was he put out these little things, right? And it was these are the qualifications of a deacon. And if you can think of men in the church that fit these qualifications,
write them down.
Write them down,
pray
right?
about it.
Pray about it. And if you need to change the list after you pray about it, like change the list, but this is when we're going to take up names, right? It wasn't this like predetermined set of names. It was literally like the Holy Spirit moving in
Holy
the
Spirit,
congregation.
activate.
Like,
and it's interesting looking back on it, right? Like knowing your character, your story, it makes complete sense why you were chosen. And I hope that you've come around to.
I do, yeah.
Understand.
I jokingly say like I have no idea why I'm a deacon, but I do.
But I mean, like,
I love people. I love God.
Yeah, I mean, like you are a true servant of the church, right? And a humble servant, right? And when you look at the office of deacon, I mean, that's really what it is.
Yeah,
right. It's just an undeterred servant, faithful servant of the church. That's what it is, right? So I mean, I think not to toot your horn, but no, keep going.
I appreciate it.
No, but I mean, it's
say it a little louder.
No, I mean, it always made sense.
Go. Sorry.
So you've always had one of the biggest hearts, I think, of anyone in the church. So it makes sense why you're in that position.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, of course.
So your name, like, how did it?
So Zach called me. I was at work. You got a minute? I was like, yeah, what's up? I remember walking to the OR where it was quiet and there was nothing set up. And I was just sitting there talking. He told me this story about, Brother Jerry came to me and told me it was time to quit my job and serve the Lord full time. I'm like going through my mind, why do you want me to quit my job?
What is this about?
Exactly. Are you calling me to preach?
Right. I'm like, I'm not a preacher, teacher.
The Holy Spirit's supposed to do that.
Right. And he's like, so your name came up as one of the like most incidences for deacon. What do you think about that? I just kind of remember being quiet for a second, like, okay, I guess. Like,
what does that mean?
What does that mean? Right, And so he kind of explained it to me and went through it, and I was like, well, who am I to deny the Holy Spirit? Like, if God wants me to work in this role, I'll do it. Like, I'm going to serve in this church whether whether I have the title of deacon or not.
Yeah.
I'm going to cook men's prayer breakfasts
which is which is
exactly why the Holy Spirit laid
that name
Andrew, on people's hearts.
Okay, you're a deacon.
Right. I'm the baby deacon, which is fine. I'll wear that. I
wasn't going to bring that up.
I'll carry that
but it's
title.
Still my favorite.
It's fine. It doesn't bother me. I am a baby.
Well, it's great, right? Because, I mean, our other deacons, some of them are older.
Yeah.
And it's good to see a church, looking at that and embracing that, saying, hey, you know, there needs to be younger blood coming into this position just to keep it going, right? The church needs to see that for growth, I think.
And what a great example for like guys that are like you and Brice's age, right? To know that, hey, you don't have to wait until you're like 50 or 60 years old to aspire to be a deacon in the church. Like if you're faithful and you serve, like age doesn't mean anything. As long as you're, not a novice or, and that really only applies to pastors, but you know what I mean? Like that you guys can aspire to like, hey, you know what? I don't have to wait until, 3 other deacons graduate to their heavenly home in order for me to be a deacon.
Right. Well, yeah, it's more of a heart thing.
Yeah.
Not an age thing.
Yeah. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, and practically speaking in Acts, when they selected them, is because the apostles needed to preach. They didn't need to serve tables. And it's funny. I don't know if I shared this or not. Zach texted me after Anniversary Sunday because I catered it more or less. which is fine.
Yeah, Andrew's
you,
the
by the way.
deacon that does like all the cooking stuff because
Yeah.
you know that catering thing that God
Yeah.
allowed him to be a
Well,
part of when he was
right.
younger.
Yeah. You know what? A funny story about that, and I'll let you
Go
continue. But we on that Sunday,
Yeah.
I was eating
I
and,
remember.
and whatnot, and you walked up for something. You said something to me. I was like, "Hey, who catered this? Like, what restaurant catered this?"
Right.
And you're like, "Are you kidding?" I was like, "No, I'm being dead serious."
It was like an insult to you.
It was no.
I was like,
no.
are you for real? Like, it's
It
not
was
that good.
Exact opposite. It was that good
Yeah.
that I thought it was catered by an actual establishment.
I can say the same thing whenever you and it was probably mainly you, but whenever so the church does something cool when a family has a kid, the church will provide
like meals or
meals
something.
for
yeah.
the first week or so, and your family provided one of our first meals, and I thought it was Chipotle. I was like, this rice, these beans with Chipotle. I was like, this is awesome. Like this is great. And I didn't know that you had made that until we had the fellowship meal, and it was the same type of rice and the
Yeah.
beans. And I was like,
Oh, wow.
whoa,
If you're
that's
gonna
crazy.
God should get your best people. He really should. God's people should
Amen.
do their best for God.
I can get behind
Yeah.
that for sure.
But
So
you know,
Zach
had
texted
texted
you.
me. He's like, "Hey man, just so many compliments and just you did a great job today. I really appreciate it." And I texted him back. I'm like, "Dude, like, I can't teach a Sunday school class and I can't preach a sermon, but I'll give you what God's given me. This I'll give you. I
Yeah.
can
Amen.
make some good eats.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't know what to do in my church, just do what you can.
Yeah.
I'm not a teacher. You don't want me teaching. Trust me, it will not go well.
Lord,
you-
he's not saying that as a challenge.
Right? I don't have that gift. I don't have. I can speak in front of people. I don't know. I'm not eloquent.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Course, then again, who has
spiritual
made
gifts
man's
are a whole
mouth?
other episode.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
No, but
That's a real
I
thing.
think that's a
Right.
great point. Like, serve where you're gifted.
Oh yeah.
And then as you serve, like you will become more gifted
Yeah.
in other areas because you're serving next to people who are gifted differently.
Yep.
Right. One of the things I think that I always struggled with when I was younger was like serving in the capacity, Andrew, that I've seen you serve. But at the same time, that's had a profound effect on me, because being able to get in there and like serve next to you on like breakfasts and like helping make food and just kind of getting in that servant mindset, because I've never had a problem like serving from like a teaching perspective or something like that. Like I've even cleaned toilets at churches and painted walls,
Right.
but the actual like servant of like serving,
Right.
not as in a service
Sure.
capacity instead of like a just strictly work capacity is something that like I've learned from watching you and seeing the things that you've done. So yeah, I agree with that encouragement. Like just serve where you're gifted. If you're good at cleaning toilets, be the best at cleaning the church's toilets. And if that's the only thing you can do, that's fine.
God will take it. God will
Yeah.
take your works.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another plug to, like, catering wasn't my favorite job. It didn't really pay very well, but it taught me how to move in the kitchen, how to plan things out, how to effectively utilize my time, and I'm grateful for it now because I'm able to bless my church with it. And then another job I had, I worked for a plastic surgeon, and I suture skin really well. So a church member's wife's got a plastic closure. So just again, it was one of those jobs where I was like, I just need some extra cash. I'll go work an extra job here, and I'm a workaholic. I worked 6 to 2, 4 days a week, and then 3 to 11, 5 days a week. So
Wow.
that was the first several years of my career.
Wow.
But it
Okay.
taught me some skills, and if God has you in a job that you're not really sure why you're there, just lean into it. Be the best you can. Not only
That's
for your
good.
testimony, because God's people should be excellent in what they do, but you never know where it's gonna take you in life, what you're gonna do with it for God later on in life.
Right. Yeah. What you're going to learn for
Yeah.
later opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's definitely, it's funny, like every testimony episode we do, it's kind of the same theme of, hey, everything that I went through, all this adversity, whether it be the vices or tragic accidents, God saw me through it.
Yeah.
And the things that I learned along the way lead me to where I am now.
Yeah.
And everything was orchestrated perfectly as God always wanted it to happen. And sometimes it has to be that way, right?
Yeah. And I see God's hand in the timing when I met Sarah and the motivation it gave me. Because like I said before coming to Texas in 2007, aimless. Like I really was just, I didn't have anxiety or whatever. I just thought that I had no goals. I had no direction. I have no idea what I wanted to do with my life. And I was here in Texas for 2 weeks and I was like laser focused. Education, job, marriage. I want that girl.
Do you think the Holy Spirit used Sarah
absolutely
to kind of realign or I guess motivate you in that direction?
It was the catalyst.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important, in pursuing a relationship to pursue a godly woman, which Sarah absolutely is. Much more than myself, I would at times I would almost say.
Isn't that the case with most of us?
Because she has to deal with me. But yeah, I remember. I distinctly remember that total mental shift and drive, and really just getting me going. But I'm grateful that it was her and not, a lost person or someone that was going to take me a different direction. So, thank God for a godly woman, godly wife.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Well, I think we've arrived at a good spot here.
Yep.
I think, like I said before, with every testimony episode we do, it's always great to see how the Lord works in people's life and where they end up. Right. There's always things in our life that seem like the end of the world when they're happening. Yeah. But Christ has a bigger picture. There's a better way.
Yeah.
There's more to come. Right. And Christ is not done with you yet, right? But we would love to hear from you, right? We'd love to hear from our listeners. We're going to post the pictures of the X-ray that we were looking at earlier. I think you guys will get a kick out of that. It's pretty gnarly looking. Throw down a comment on that.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think about it. Ask any questions. Tom was going to tell you here in a second where you can reach us, but we'd love to interact with you guys.
Yeah, so get a hold of us on social media at LWBC_publications. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. We'd love to hear a comment from you. And if you've got like a question for Andrew, or if there's something in the episode that like just kind of struck a chord with you and you'd like to comment on it or say that it was a blessing to you, you can do it there. Or you can email us at podcast@lakeworthbaptist.org. Like Kyle said, we'd love to hear from you. We love seeing like our stats that people are listening, but it would be great to just hear some reviews from people and see some comments. So just get a hold of us. We will answer.
Yeah. Also share it if you see it.
Absolutely.
You see our posts, a simple button press to get it to more people, get the gospel out there further. I mean, it's super simple, super easy to do, and we would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening to this. Follow us there, and we will see you next week for another installment of Thinking Well. Definitely took a plunge. Andrew, you want to say something?
No, I was...
Gotcha. You raised your hand like you wanted to do your sign off.
I was going to get a drink of water. So.
Gotcha. Well, hey, we appreciate it, Andrew. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for taking the time. It was a good talk. Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.